We know this world is a world of duality, of opposites, good, bad, up, down, right, left, and so on. But what I'm talking about today is extremes, extremism and extremist behaviors. Part of waking up and doing the work is seeing this construct of duality clearly and becoming aware of the extremes. For years now, my aim has been the middle path and still is. Not meaning wishy-washy. I can have my beliefs and opinions without being extreme. I can also have beliefs and opinions without forcing them on anyone else. All these extremes feel really heightened the past couple of years. Both sides of every issue running their own narratives and only listening to who agrees with their view. I did a personal experiment where I made myself listen to and read both sides of any issue. If I normally watched one narrative on social media, for instance, I started watching the other narrative as well. What I found out is that ultimately we're all the same. Each side collects data to support their view, each side takes the other side out of context, and each side belittles and makes fun of the other side. Thankfully, we do have some people stepping up and having respectful conversations with people from all perspectives, proving it can be done. This subject ties into waking up as it directly concerns the ego and fear. The ego gets threatened and it goes into fear. Egos that can't handle being disagreed with, that can't allow people to live their lives their own way. Ego that wants to shove things down your throat and tell you you're stupid. It's emotional immaturity, an imbalance of equilibrium. Some people go spiraling if you don't agree with their ideology. It's also a matter of the lack of power and control. It's very desperately urgent that we come to see this imbalance in others and maybe even ourselves. Life isn't fair and not everything will go your way. Sometimes I feel like it never goes my way. Most of us need to set a tone of maturity and balance. A popular term now is the haters or the trolls. We don't like their nasty comments and meanness, but there's something much deeper going on. Banning and canceling is not the solution. Somehow we each need to find a way to engage without getting out of control and instead work on getting well, to wake up and heal the soul, turning our gaze within on ourselves. People can change. We can change ourselves, but rarely will we change another. We inflict so much self-sabotage on ourselves. We think we're showing up another, but we're only hurting ourselves. I'm sure you've heard about the pendulum theory. It shows up in history and in ourselves. It swings all the way to one side and then all the way to the other and eventually to the middle. The center, where balance lies, the middle path. I believe the truth is in the middle. A simple example is if a person has spent most of their life saying yes and always being the giver. They always bend over backwards and put everyone else first. But then they start to notice that they are not getting much back. They eventually see the writing on the wall and they'll do a 180 and start saying no to everyone and everything by swinging to the other extreme. Such an abrupt turnaround can stun their friends and family that had become accustomed to the old behavior. On top of that, the giver treats new people this new way as they are still triggered from years of self-sacrifice. Finally, they come to see that they had swung to the other extreme, and so then they settle into the middle, where they give when appropriate but also receive and even put their self first. The pendulum swings in all our lives, in politics, in business, and in countries. Watching the pendulum swing to such extremes lately, we know that eventually it will settle somewhere in the middle. Things probably won't be perfect in this dualistic world, but creating some balance will be a great start.